అంత క్లియర్గా ఉందా? సౌండ్ వస్తుంది ఇంకా? రైట్.
సార్ నేను ఇక్కడ వరకు రావచ్చు?
రావచ్చు, ఇక్కడ వరకు రావచ్చు. అక్కడ నుంచి స్టార్ట్ చేయొచ్చు. మీరు నుంచి ఉన్న చోట నుంచి రైటింగ్ స్టార్ట్ చేయొచ్చు. మీరు లెఫ్ట్ తిరగండి, చెప్తా. కొంచెం చెప్తాను. రైట్. మీరు వచ్చి నేను ఇది క్లియర్గా ఉంది, సరిపోతుంది. మీ హెడ్ పై నుంచి రాయొచ్చు. నిన్న రాసిన ఎక్స్ స్క్వేర్ కనపడుతుంది కదా మీకు, అక్కడ నుంచి రాసుకోవచ్చు. అంతకన్నా పైకి వెళ్ళకండి, ఒక లైన్ కొట్టుకోండి అక్కడ. అంతొద్దు, ఇంకా కిందకి కొట్టండి. అది రైట్. అని ఏదైనా ప్రాబ్లం ఉంటే సార్కి ఒకసారి అన్మ్యూట్ చేసుకొని మాట్లాడండి, ఓకేనా? సార్ మళ్ళీ ఒకసారి లైన్ తీసుకోండి, మళ్ళీ మీకు ఇబ్బంది గుర్తుందా? రైట్ రైట్ సార్.
గుడ్ మార్నింగ్ ఫ్రెండ్స్.
Respond, then only they can understand that whether it is audible to you or not.
Good morning, sir.
Okay. This is a special session exclusively meant for TCS. As you are aware, for any competitive examination there is a constraint of time, especially when you are dealing with the questions on reasoning and mathematics. The time that is allowed is at the most 60 seconds. So my dear friends, you must be in a position to solve the questions in less than a minute. For that you need certain inputs. So I would like to start with percentages today. During this session, percentages is a very important topic, not only to answer the questions on percentages and the questions on data interpretation and some other areas. So this is a very important concept that is required for getting good score in the real test. So my dear friends, let us start a discussion on this. Percentage is not a word, first of all. It is a phrase wherein we have per means for, cent means 100. To be more precise, percentage means for every 100. If you get a score of 80 marks in an examination for which the maximum marks is 100, you get the marks like this, 80 out of 100. Which means that it is 80%. Of course, this 80% can also be written as 0.8 or 4/5 or 4:5, so on. All these are called basic comparators. We will come to that next. First of all, any fraction whose denominator is 100 is called as percentage. Okay. Now let us see how we can answer the questions that are linked with simplifications on percentages. I would like to add one more thing, my dear friends. This symbol is for percentage for every 100, and this symbol is rarely used in the examinations, which means that it is for per 1000. If you are given 37 per 1000, you need to take 37 upon 1000. Very rarely the test makers use this also. Okay, but now let us confine our discussion to percentages. In percentages, we broadly have three types of calculations. X% of y is equal to how much? X% of how much is equal to z? what percent of y is equal to z? These are the three types of simplifications. Many aspirants would like to take more time in simplifications. In the process of simplification, they spend more time on these. Now let us try to reduce that time by discussing these three things. So out of three variables x, y and z, one variable will always be missing. It can be z, x or y. Okay. Now let us see the very first one. X percent of y is equal to how much? If at all you are given 20% of 650 is how much? My dear friends, this 20% can be written as 20 by 100 and off, off is for multiplication. 20 by 100 into 650. By cancelling two zeros, you get 130. And 20% can also be written as 0.2 into 650, and that also comes to 130. Or 20% can also be written as 1 by 5. That also will give you 130. But my dear friends, I don't suggest any of these three types of calculations for you. I simply reject all the three types of simplifications here. In order to find 20% of 650, what all you have to do is, you need to ignore or eliminate or delete two zeros either from x or from y or from the both, and then go for the product of whatever you are having with or whatever are remaining. Here we cancel one zero here, the other zero here, and then the product of 2 and 65 will be 130. So in order to get this, you need not put your pen or pencil on paper. You can straight away calculate this, and your eyes will tell you that the answer to this is 130. 265 is 130. Okay, my dear friends. But what if you don't have zeros? What is 16% of 25? You don't have zeros either in x or in y. Then straight away go for the product of 16 and 25. That will come to 16 25 is 850s. 850s is 400s. Now in the product you got two zeros. So you can eliminate those two zeros even from the product also. Now your answer is 4. 16% of 25 is 4. But if at all you don't have zeros even in the product, let us see what is 18% of 19. You don't have zeros in x or y. Now take the product. 18 nines is 342. 18 square 324 plus 18 342. As you don't have zeros even in the product, you are supposed to create two decimal places for 342. So it will be straight away 3.42. Okay. What is 18% of 25? 1825 is 950s, 950s is 450. You have one zero here, first cancel it. For the other zero that is to be eliminated, please put a decimal point between 4 and 5. So 4.5 is the answer for that. Now my dear friends, this is how you can find x% of y. And one more thing that you need to know, 30% of 80 is 24. Even 80% of 30 is also 24, isn't it? From this we understand that x% of y is always equal to y% of x. x percent of y is always equal to y percent of x. Why this is to be understood? The point is, if you are given %38 of 50, you are at liberty to write it as 50% of 38. 50% is half and half of 38 is 19. Without doing any calculation, you can straight away put it. 38% of 50, you need to multiply or cancel this 0 and then do something else. Instead, you can understand this 38% of 50 as 50% of 38. 50% of 38 is nothing but half of 38. Half of 38 is 19. Okay. In the earlier question, I asked for 25% of 16. 25% of 16 is, even if you are given 16% of 25, we can take it as 25% of 16 and 1/4 of 16 is 4. Okay. My dear friends, in the other two cases, whenever you x or y are missing, x or y are missing, you will have to do a small operation here, put two zeros to the right of z and then divide with whatever is available on the left. If x is available, divide with x. If y is available, divide with y. I will show you an example. %40 of how much is equal to 24? Put two zeros to the right of z and divide with 40. 0 cancel, 4 60s. So 60 replaces the question mark. Okay. If what percent of 60 is equal to 240? Then also, 24. Then also put two zeros to the right of 24 and divide with 60. 0 cancel, 6 40s. So 40 replaces the question mark. This is the way how you can answer the questions on these three types of simplifications. These are only the three types of simplifications that you have come across under this topic. And these three are very, very essential and time saving. Please practice this type of simplification only. My dear friends, as part of discussion on percentages, you need to know the equivalence of certain percentages in the form of decimal fractions or vulgar fractions. For example, if it is 5%, it is 1/20 or 0.05. If it is 10%, you must be in a position to write this wherever necessary. 10% is 1/10 or 0.1. 15% is 3/20 or 0.15. Sometimes you will have to take the percentage as a decimal fraction or even a vulgar fraction. 20% is 1/5 or 0.2. 25% is 1/4, 0.25. Like this, 30% is 3/10, 0.3. 35% is 7/20, 0.35. 40% is 2/5, 0.4. 45% is 9/20, 0.45. 50% is half and 0.5. 55% is 11/20. 60% is 3/20. 3/5. 60% is 3/5 or 0.6. 65% is 13/20 or 0.65. 70% is 7/10 or 0.7. 75% is 3/4 or 0.75. 80% is 4/5 or 0.8. 85% is 17/20, 0.85. 90% is 9/10 or 0.9. 95% is 19/20, 0.95. 100% is 1. This 100% is very very important. You need to make use of this everywhere where the percentages are involved. 100% is equal to 1. As you are aware, 100 by 100 is 1. But having a feel of this is very important while solving the questions on percentages. And of course 110% is equal to 11 by 10 or 1.1, 120% is equal to 6 by 5 or 1.2, 125% is equal to 5 by 4, 1.25, 150% is equal to 3 by 2, 1.5, 200% is equal to 2. So on. So 1000% is equal to 10, 500% is equal to 5. So these are to be remembered by you or to be used by you while practicing the questions. Without keep practicing, you cannot remember, you cannot tend to remember these things. And my dear friends, while solving x% of y, you will also come across certain situations where you will be given a mixed fraction like this. So far we have discussed only the percentage equivalents of tens and fives in multiples of tens and fives. But what about this situation? If you are asked to find the equivalent for this, what is that you are going to do? For that, you need to understand 66 2 by 3% is nothing but 2 by 3. 384 is 252, 284 is 168. It is simple to get 168 as the answer. Only you know that the equivalent of 66 2 by 3% is 2 by 3. Even if you simplify this, you will get the same. 366 is 198 plus 2, 200, 200 by 3 into 1 by 100 for the percentage. Zeros cancelled, you will get 2 by 3. But my dear friends, each and every time you cannot afford to spend time on simplifying this and take the equivalents. So you need to remember the equivalents for the vulgar fraction percentages, mixed fraction percentages, which come across, which you come across in the examinations very frequently. Let us see a few of those. 6 1 by 4% is 1 by 16. 8 1 by 3% is 1 by 12. 9 1 by 11% is 1 by 11. 11 1 by 9%, 1 by 9. 12.5% is equal to 1 by 8. 14 2 by 7 is equal to 1 by 7. 16 2 by 3% is equal to 1 by 6. 28 4 by 7% is equal to 2 by 7. 33 1 by 3% is 1 by 3. 66 2 by 3% is 2 by 3. Straight away you can take the equivalents like this while solving the questions when you come across this. And the multiples of 12.5% are also to be practiced. 12.5%, the first multiple is 1 by 8. Second multiple 12.5% is 25%, that you already know. The third multiple of 12.5% is 37.5%. Obviously, it will be 3 by 8 because it is 3 times of 12.5%. 1 by 8 into 3, 3 by 8. And the next multiple of 12.5% is 50%, which is half, that you already know. The next one is 62.5%, which is equal to 5 by 8. And then 87.5% is equal to 7 by 8. This will be very handy when solving the questions if you remember these sincerely. Okay, I am clearing this. My dear friends, I told you x% of y is equal to y% of x. You are always at liberty to rewrite the given question as per your convenience. Not only this, n into x% of m into y is also equal to m into y% of n into x. That means the factors of x and y can be interchanged. Let me give you an example. %5 of 91 is equal to 143% of 35. Can you believe this? Both of these are equal. 55% of 91 is equal to 143% of 35. How come it happens? See, 55 is 5 into 11. 91 is 7 into 38. Now you can interchange the factors. This 5 and 7 taken to the last, 11 and 13, 11 into 13 is 143. So this is written as 11 into 13, 143, and this is written as 5 into 7. All of a sudden, if you look at this, you don't believe that both of these are equal. But if you look into it deeply, you can simply understand that both of them are exactly equal. So 55% of 91 is equal to 143% of 35. That happens only with the exchange of factors of the given values. Okay. Now, my dear friends, normally when you go to a shop and find a shirt of 3000 rupees, and there you are allowed to have a discount of 30%. What you normally do is you calculate 30% of 3000 as 900 and then subtract it from 3000. Maybe on your phone or shopkeeper's calculator, they do like this. They find 30% of 3000 first, that is 900, and then it is subtracted from the market price of 3000 and you will get 2100, that is to be paid by you. Instead, when you are getting a discount of 30%, why should you calculate 30% of 3000 and subtract it from 3000? When you are given a discount of 30%, straight away you can find 70% of 3000. 70% of 3000. This 0 and 0 cancelled, 7 3 is 21 hundreds. So whenever something is reduced by certain percentage, you need to subtract it from 100% and take the final answer straight away, like this. And if something is increased by 30%, then also you can simply do 130% of 3000. No need to calculate 30% of 3000 and then add it to 3000. When you are given 130% of 3000, straight away take the product 13 3 is 39 followed by 2 zeros. So this is what you get. So when you are given a percentage of reduction or increase, then you can straight away get the values as 100% of that, 100 minus that percentage of the original value or 100 plus that percentage of the original value. You can straight away get it, and it saves a lot of time. A considerable time will be saved. My dear friends, if A is taller than B by 10%, by what percentage B is shorter than A? Interestingly, the answer is not 10%. When A is taller than B by 10%, B is not 10% shorter than A. It's something else. It's something else. How does it happen? Let's have a look at it. A is taller than B. That means when B is of 100 centimeters height, A will be 110 centimeters height. Okay. This is what we have, what is given. Now the question is, by what percentage B is shorter than A? B is shorter than A by 10 centimeters. 10 centimeters. But on whose height he is 10 centimeters shorter? A's 110 centimeters. Into 100. So you will get 9 1 by 11%. Cancelling this 0, it will be 100 by 11. 100 by 11 is 9 1 by 11%. It's very interesting, my dear friends. When A is taller than B by 10%, B is shorter than A by 9 1 by 11%. It's not 10%. If at all it is 10%, the question should not have come for discussion for such a class. Okay. And if we take the reverse, A is shorter than B by 10%. By what percent B is taller than A? If A is shorter than B by 10%, that means B is 100, A is 90. B's height is 100 centimeters and A is said to be shorter than B by 10%. That means 10% less than 100 centimeters is 90 centimeters. Now, by what percent B is taller than A? Again, it's not 10%. It will be something else. Now, B is taller than A by 10 centimeters upon A's 90 centimeters. Here, the base is very important. The base that you take here is very important, and that determines the exact answer. B is 10 centimeters taller than A's 90 centimeters. So it will be 10 by 90 into 100. It will be 100 by 9. It will be 11 1 by 9%. Okay, friends. But each and every time you cannot afford to do all these calculations, for which we have an easy way to get the answers. 100 R by 100 plus or minus R%. My dear friends, if you already know this concept, please let me know. I will go to the next. Otherwise, please listen to this. This is what we have. When the initial trend is negative, that means shorter or less or decreasing like that, then you will have to take minus here or if the initial trend is positive, like taller than, greater than, increasing like that, then you will have to take plus here. In the earlier question, the first one, we have to take 100 into 10 by 100 plus 10. That comes to 9 1 by 11%. In the second case, this one, it will be 100 into 10 by 100 minus 10. This will be 11 1 by 9%. My dear friends, this same concept can be used in so many other ways. Let me tell you one after the other. The very first one is, if the price of a commodity increases by R%, by what percent a household can reduce the consumption so that there is no change in the outlay of the household. All of a sudden commodity మీద ప్రైస్ తగ్గింది లేదా పెరిగింది, అప్పుడు హౌస్ హోల్డ్ తన బడ్జెట్ని ఎలా అడ్జస్ట్ చేసుకోవాలి? దట్ మీన్స్ హౌ టు ఇంక్రీజ్ ఆర్ decrease the consumption. When the price increases, consumption should be reduced so that there is no change in the layout or outlay. When the price decreases, the household has the cushion to increase his consumption again with no change in his overall expenditure on that particular commodity. In these two cases also, we can use this. If the price of sugar increases by 25%, by what percent the consumer should reduce the consumption? Straight away 100 into 25 by 100 plus 25. This 125 5 times, this is 20%. My dear friends, in certain, this type of questions, if one is greater than the other by X% or R%, the other is lesser than the first one by some other percent but not the same percentage, you need to remember that, and always you can make use of this 100R by 100 plus or minus R% without any deviation. My dear friends, if the initial trend is positive, you need to take positive sign here. If the initial trend is negative, then you need to take minus. I can give you one more example. The price of a computer is increased by 15%. By what percent it should be reduced so as to bring it back to the original price? Same formula. And the length of a rectangle is increased by R%. By what percent the breadth should be decreased so that there is no change in the area of the rectangle? Same formula. So in all these cases, you can make use of this without any doubt. Is it clear? If you want, I'll give you a confirmation here. If the length of a rectangle is increased by 25%, by what percent breadth should be decreased so that there is no change in the area of the rectangle? Length is increased by 25%. Let us say length is 100 and breadth is 50. When length is increased by, when length is 100 and breadth is 50, the area of the rectangle is 5000 square units. If length is increased by 25%, it becomes 125. And by what percent breadth should be decreased? When it is 25%, 100 into 25 by 100 plus 25, it gives you 20%. 20% is the reduction on breadth, so that there is no change in the area of the rectangle. So 20% reduction on 50 is 40. 20% of 50 is 10, or you can straight away take 80% of 50 as 40. So 125 into 40 is again 5000, the same area. So if one is decreased by r%, the other should be decreased by 100 r by 100 plus r%. This is to have no change in the original value. But my dear friends, sometimes there will be changes in both the variables. Then we will have to find the overall effect. For example, the price of sugar increases by X% and consumption increases by Y%. What is the overall effect? Overall effect will be X plus Y plus XY by 100 whole percent. When the price of a commodity increases by X% and the consumption also increases by Y%, the overall effect should be calculated by this X plus Y by X plus Y plus XY by 100 whole percent. And if the price increases by X% and consumption decreases by Y%, obviously Y will be negative. X minus Y minus XY by 100 whole percent. If the price decreases and the consumption also decreases, then you will have to take minus X minus Y plus XY by 100 whole percent. So you will have to make the necessary changes according to the trends. If it is increasing, it will be positive. If it is decreasing, it will be negative. Price decreasing and consumption increasing, then you will have minus X plus Y minus XY by 100 whole percent. This is how you can find the overall effect. You can make a heading here, overall effect. Overall effect on what? When there are two interdependent values which vary in certain percentages, maybe X% or Y% or something else. When there are two interdependent variables changing by certain percentages, whether increasing or decreasing, the overall effect will be like this. You can also make use of this for the earlier question on the rectangle. When the length of a rectangle is increased by 10% and the breadth is increased by 20%, what is the overall effect? 10 plus 20 plus 10 into 20 by 100. That comes to 32%. When length is increased by 10%, breadth is increased by 20%, the overall effect will be 32%. So this is the way how you can make use of X plus Y plus XY by 100%. My dear friends, just let me take a break for a couple of minutes. Thank you. Sir, any meeting, sir?
Principal.
Principal.
11:30 is.
ఎంతసేపు ఉండొచ్చు? ఎంతసేపు ఉండొచ్చు? మీటింగ్.
Regarding third year classes are going to start on Monday.
Maybe half an hour? సార్ బోర్డ్ రూమ్లో ప్రిన్సిపల్ మేడం మీటింగ్ పెట్టారు. ఓకే చెప్పండి. Any doubts on this, my dear friends?
No, sir.
Thank you. The population of a village is 10,000. It increases by 10% the first year, 20% by the second year, and unfortunately, owing to an epidemic, it decreases by 10% the third year. What will be the population after the third year? Could you find the answer? When there are consecutive changes, how do you find the answer? Of course, the very elementary way of answering this question is 10,000, the first 10% increase, plus 10% is 1,000, that is 11,000. Then 20% of 11,000 is 2,200. 13,200, and then reduction of 10%. This is minus 1320. That will be 11,880. This is the elementary way of solving this question. 10,000 plus 10%, 1,000, 11,000 plus 20%. 2,200, together 13,200, and that minus 10%, 1320, that is 11,880. But my dear friends, when you come across certain questions, you will have to take like this. 110% of, you are given 10% increase, so you take 110% of 20% increase, that means 120% of 10% decrease, that is 90% of 10,000. If you solve this, you will get the answer directly. 110% of, 120% of, 90% of 10,000. So it is 11 by 10 into 6 by 5 into 9 by 10 into 10,000. 2 zeros cancelled, and 5 from this 20 times. Now you can have the calculation. 11 sixes 66, 66 nines, 9 sixes 54, 9 sixes 54, 594. 594 into 20, 594 into 2 is 1188 followed by 0. This is how you can get the answer directly, and this step is not necessary, as you are aware that 10% increase, 20% increase, 10% decrease are given there. Straight away you can make this step and get the answer. This takes lesser time when compared to this. Okay. even when you are given questions on profit and loss, suppose an item is sold for 2000 rupees with a profit of 25%. Profit is 25% and selling price is 2000. What is cost price? No formula is required. You know that there is a profit of 25% on cost price. That means this selling price 2000 is nothing but 125% of cost price is 2000. 125% of cost price is 2000. Because profit is 25%, selling price becomes 125% of the cost price. Cost price is the price at which the businessman procures. Right? 125% of CP is 2000. What is CP? This 125% you know pretty well that it is 5 by 4. And 5 from 2000, 400 times. 4 into 400, 1600. My dear friends, do you know cancelling the things like this? When you have the sign of equality in between and all others are multiplications, then you can cancel the things with numerator and denominator with denominator. And this also will save a lot of time, because here if you want to solve in a traditional way, then you will have to make this step. CP is equal to 2000 into 4 by 5. 5 by 4 gets reversed and this will be 4 by 5. Then you will have to cancel like this and write 1600. My idea here is to avoid this step. By avoiding this step, I have taken 5 by 4 for 125% and I cancelled 5 out of 2000 and I got 4 into 400 as 1600. This is how you can save your time in calculations. Avoid too many steps. Avoid too many steps. That's very, very important. See, if you answer 50 questions of mathematics and if your rough work happens to be 1/4 of A4 sheet, then your score will be very, very high. If your rough work happens to be on the complete A4 sheet, then your chances of getting a good score will be very bleak, very remote. So my dear friends, mental calculations are very important. Please try to avoid, as far as possible, try to avoid the calculations on paper. Okay. Please minimize the rough work on paper. The same rough work can be done on your brain. In the back of your mind, you can do all these calculations. That will save a lot of time. If you want 13 12s, why should you write 13 and 12 and draw a line like this and then multiply to get 156? 13 12s is nothing but 12 square plus 12. That is 144 plus 12, 156. Okay, my dear friends. And now, cost price is 5000, loss is 30%. What is the selling price? A businessman has bought an article for 5000 and he is ready to incur a loss of 30% on that while selling it. So what could be the selling price? Selling price will obviously be 100 minus 30% of 5000. 100 minus 30% of 5000 is nothing but 70% of 5000. So it's 3500 straight away. Okay. Now, regarding discounts, you will have to make use of what I am going to write now. If you find any question on discounts, you will have to make use of this 100 minus discount percent of market price is equal to 100 plus or minus profit or loss percent of CP. CP is cost price of the businessman, or the price at which the businessman procures the item, and market price is the price which is printed on the item. That's why market price is also called as print price, or even catalog price, list price, original price. Like that, market price is called in so many ways. And D is discount percent. This profit or loss. When there is a mention of loss, it should be minus. When there is a mention of profit, it should be plus. If you remember this, any question on discounts, market price can be solved without any hiccups. Now, my dear friends, let me give you an example. A businessman bought an article for 500. He allows a discount of 30% and he marks the price at 1000 rupees. He marked the price as 1000. He bought it for 500. He allows a discount of 30%. Is it profit or loss? If so, what percent? Straight away, 100 minus discount percent. 100 minus 30, 70% of market price 1000 is equal to 100 plus or minus profit or loss percent of cost price 500. As I told you earlier, you can cancel the numerators with numerators and denominators with denominators when you have a sign of equality in between two expressions, two numerical expressions or even algebraic expressions. This 500 cancel with 1000 two times. This percentage and this percentage cancelled. So 70 into 2 is 140 is equal to 100 minus plus or minus profit or loss percent. Obviously, as it is 140, profit is 40%. Profit is 40%. That means you can just have a look at this. This 100 minus discount percent of market price, 70% of 1000 is 700. This is paid by you, the customer, by picking up an article of 1000 rupees at a discount of 30%. Now, the businessman has his own calculation. He is getting 40% profit on the item he bought at 500. 500, 140%, that means that is also 700. The amount that you are giving, that you are paying at the counter is nothing but the amount received by the businessman. You are happy that you are getting a discount of 30% on the print price and you are paying 700. And the businessman is receiving that 700 and he is also happy that he is getting a profit of 40% on his investment of 500. So, both are happy, both the amounts are equal, but out of these four variables, if three are given, you can find the fourth variable very easily without any hiccups. Right? my dear friends, many of the aspirants find it very difficult to find square roots and cube roots for the given numbers. So just let us have a look at those things which will be very handy for you in the examination in saving a lot of time. First of all, finding a cube root is very difficult, as you all aware. For example, finding a cube root for 1728, what is that you need to do? You will have to go for prime factorization of 1728. That will be like this. For finding cube root, this is only the method that you have, barring the one which I am going to give you. This is prime factorization. Division of a given number by proposing the divisors, only the prime number divisors, and continuing it till you find, the final quotient of 1. This is prime factorization. So for 1728, the prime factorization is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 power 6 into 3 threes, 3 cube. Now in order to find cube root of 1728, you will have to write like this: 2 power 6 into 1 by 3 into 3 cube into 1 by 3. So you are left with 2 square into 3, that is 12. So 12 is the cube root of 1728. For finding cube root conventionally, you do not have any other method than this. But I think this will take at least 60 seconds for you to get the cube root. But I can tell you, within 2 seconds you can find the cube root for any number up to 6 digits. Let us see how it works. My dear friends, you should be in a position to remember at least 15 cubes. 10 cubes are very essential. 1 cube is 1, 2 cube is 8, 3 cube is 27, 4 cube is 64, 5 cube is 125, 6 cube is 216, 7 cube is 343, 8 cube is 512, 9 cube is 729, 10 cube is 1000. These are the first 10 cubes that we have. Okay. While finding the cube root of any given number, you need to understand these two things. First of all, number of digits. If a number is having 1, 2 or 3 digits, the cube root of it will have only 1 digit. If a number has 4, 5 or 6 digits, the cube root will have only 2 digits. If you have 7, 8 or 9 digits in the number, then the cube root will have 3 digits. Okay. This is with respect to number of digits and easy to remember also. Now, unit digits. What is unit digit? The digit of a number that is written to the right hand side. Extreme right hand side, whatever digit we write, that is called unit digit. Okay. Now, number, cube root of the number. You can observe here 2 cube is 8, 8 cube is 512. That means if a number has 2 in it, its cube root will end with 8. If a number has 8 in it, its cube root will end with 2. So for 2 you need to take 8, for 8 you need to take 2. Okay. And for 3 it is 7, for 7 it is 3. So for 3 it's 7 and for 7 it is 3. And my dear friends, if you observe the other digits, 1 for 1, 4 for 4, 5 for 5, 6 for 6, 9 for 9, of course 0 for 0. So if the unit digit happens to be 1, 4, 5, 6, 9 or 0, the cube root will also have the same digit. Okay. Now, with this information in the back of your mind, you can find the cube root of any given number within no time. Within no time. Your eyes will tell you the cube root of the number without putting pen or pencil on paper, without using 3 P's. Right? Now, the same old number, 1728. What is the cube root? As you have 4 digits here, definitely the cube root should have 2 digits. Block 3 digits from the right hand side and look at the units digit. As it is 8, the cube root should have 2. As the units digit in the given number is 8, as per this information, the cube root should have 2. No other go. No other go. And my dear friends, except the CAT, which is the toughest examination under the sun, there is no other competitive examination where the test makers play with the aspirants with the numbers which are not perfect cubes or perfect squares. Okay, whether it is your TCS examination or some other examination or even bank POs or any other examination, the test makers won't play with you with the numbers which are not perfect squares or perfect cubes. So straight away you can take the value required. As 1728 is given to find the cube root, looking at the units digit of the given number, you can decide the units digit of the cube root. And then the maximum possible cube from this 1 is 1. So 12 is the cube root of 1728. Now you can see this. 21, 97. What is the cube root? Block 3 digits. This is only initially we do like that. After that you will just have a cursory look at the number and then tell the cube root. As the 7 is the units digit, cube root should have 3. And the maximum possible cube root from 2 is 1. So 13 is the cube root. 3375. What is the cube root? As the last digit is 5, the cube root should also have 5.
1230 or continuous.
As the last digit is 5, cube root should also be 5. And the maximum possible cube root from 3 is 1. So 15. 15 is the cube root. No other go. No other way. No other answer. Right? Let us take a few more numbers by using the calculator. You can also give me any number for which you want to know the cube root. I can straight away tell the cube root. Please open your mobiles, calculator on your mobile and give me certain numbers which are perfect cubes. See this example. 592, 704. The number has 6 digits, so block 3 digits each. Find the cube root. Last digit is 4, so the cube root should also have 4. The maximum possible cube root from 592 is 8 cube 512, So 84 is the cube root of that number. 84 is the cube root of that number. You can also give me one or two numbers. You can see how quickly I can answer that. You can check how quickly the cube root can be given. Please give me one or two numbers from your side. See, 79,507. Block 3 digits from the right hand side. As 7 is the last digit, units digit, 3 should be in the cube root. 79 is the maximum possible cube root from 79 is 4 cube 64. 5 cube is 125. It's not possible to take 5. So 4 cube 64 is possible. So 43 is the cube root of the given number. Are you providing me any one or two numbers from your side? Quickly. That is only to check how fast you can determine the cube root of a number just having a cursory look at it. You need not have any calculations on paper. Two 87 496. Can you give me the cube root quickly? 287 496. I would like to see how quickly you can give that. Exactly. Keep it up. As the last digit is 6, take 6 in the cube root. And the maximum possible cube root from 287 is 216. 7 cube is 343, which is not possible here. 6 cube is 216. So 66 is the cube root of this number. Okay. Any numbers from your side? Shall I clear this? Any doubts from your side? Any doubts whatsoever? My dear friends, we will continue this session up to 12:30 and then break for lunch and resume at 1:30. And 1:30 to 3 will be the second session. We will have to discuss many other topics. And friends, are you ready to take the shortcuts for square roots now, or will you take it in the next session or tomorrow? You may get confused if you learn the shortcuts for cube roots and square roots in the same session. I am clearing this. Now, I would like to take up the number system in which so many concepts are included. Number system, percentages are the two very important topics for any competitive examination. Under this topic, we will have to discuss so many things, but initially, I think as one program was completed for you on the quantitative aptitude earlier, I don't want to go into deep with respect to the very basics like natural numbers, whole numbers, integers, uh, rational numbers, irrational numbers, prime numbers, perfect numbers, all this. Okay, but I would like to stress on one simple point. Of course, natural numbers are all the numbers that are used for counting. That's why those are also called as counting numbers. Sometimes test makers make use of the term counting numbers in place of natural numbers. And then coming to integers, minus infinity to infinity is called as a number line. Do you know what number line is? Where do you use number lines? While you are dealing with graphs, coordinate geometry or something else. In a graph, what do you write? Two lines, two straight lines which are perpendicular to each other, intersecting each other at 0, with the values being written like this: minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus infinity, 1, 2, 3, plus infinity, and even 1, 2, 3, plus infinity, and this minus infinity. These are number lines. The number lines are used in graphs, and a graph is called as, with the intersection of two number lines at 0 perpendicularly, will divide the whole plane into 4 segments, and each of the segments is called a quadrant. Quadrant 1, 2, 3, 4. That we'll see later. Now, integers are nothing but the number lines. In these, you need to understand a little information. All the integers with negative sign are called negative integers. This you know pretty well. And all the values which are there without any sign are called as positive integers. Without a sign means positive. Positive integers. But in between you have one integer which is quite unfortunate, not being included in this nor in this. Why? 0 is neither negative nor positive. Please remember, 0 is neither negative nor positive. That's why it's not included in either of these two. But can we afford to leave 0 like that always? No, not at all. Sometimes we have to add this 0 to this set, or sometimes to this set. My dear friends, when 0 is added to the set of positive integers, those are called as non-negative integers. These terms are very important for you in the examination. What are non-negative integers? Nothing but natural numbers. Whole numbers. That means 0 to infinity are non-negative integers. The same 0 is added with negative integers, those are called as non-positive integers. Zero is neither negative nor positive, please remember it. And my dear friends, coming to next rational numbers and irrational numbers, you all are aware of that. When a quantity or a number is written in the form of P by Q, where P, Q are integers such that P and Q are integers and Q is not equal to 0, those are called as rational numbers. The opposite of it is irrational numbers. And coming to the prime numbers and composite numbers, I need to share a few things with you. What are prime numbers? Prime numbers are the numbers that cannot be divided by any other than 1 and itself. And it can also be defined in some other way. All the numbers that have 2 and only 2 factors are called as prime numbers. All those numbers which have 2 and only 2 factors. Out of those 2 factors, one is the number and the other is 1. So prime numbers can be defined in 2 or 3 ways, but these are to be understood in a proper way. The prime numbers that are there below 100 are 25. 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13. My dear friends, those who are aspiring to take competitive examinations should be thorough with all the 25 prime numbers below 100. 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, 23, 29, 31, 37, 41, 43, 47. These are the prime numbers up to 50. These are 15 in all. And the next 50 numbers will have 10 prime numbers. Those are 53, 59, 61, 67, 71, 73, 79, 83, 89, 97. Within no time you must be in a position to give all the prime numbers below 100. That is very, very important, is even for reasoning also. Under number series or number analogies, we will also have to deal with the prime numbers. So within no time you should be in a position to give all the 25 prime numbers below 100. 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, 23, 29, 31, 37, 41, 43, 47, 53, 59, 61, 67, 71, 73, 79, 83, 89, 97. It won't take more than 5 or 6 seconds. Okay. Now, so 1 to 100 you have 25 prime numbers, and 101 to 200 you have 21 prime numbers. You can get a straight question on this. 25 and 21 are to be remembered. And one important thing to be understood is, if you keep going on the ladder of the number system, the number of prime numbers will be less. You can observe, the first 50 you have 15 prime numbers. In the second 50 you have only 10. In the first 100 you have 25 prime numbers. In the second 100, 21 only. Third 100 it will be even less. Okay. Why this happens? That is also very clearly understood, because here you have 13 as prime number, but the very second multiple of 13, 26, has no place in this list, because 26 has how many factors? 1, 2, 13 and 26. So for any number, for any prime number, from the second multiple onwards, it's not qualified as a prime number. Okay. So the number of prime numbers will obviously be less if you keep going up the ladder of the number system. That is to be felt by you, understood by you. Now my dear friends, out of these prime numbers, the prime numbers which have a difference of 2 in between, that means adjacent prime numbers which have a difference of 2 in between, are called as twin primes. Twin primes, 3 and 5, 5 and 7, 11 and 13, 17 and 19, 29 and 31, 41 and 43, 59 and 61, 71, 73. That's all. These are called twin primes. What are composite numbers? Composite numbers are the numbers which have 3 or more than 3 factors. Any number which has 3 or more than 3 factors is called as a composite number. First composite number, the least composite number is 4, then 6, then 8, 9, 10, blah blah blah. These are all composite numbers. The least composite number is 4, the least prime number is 2, and 2 is only the even prime number in the entire number system. All other prime numbers are odd. So, for a number to be qualified as a prime number, it should basically be an odd number. Then only we can look at it and say whether it is prime or not. Yes, friends. The number of prime numbers below 100 are 25. The number of composite numbers below 100 are just 74. What about that remaining one? That one is nothing but 1. 1 which is not written in this list, it is kept alone because it is neither prime nor composite. Neither prime nor composite. Why? The reason is simple. 1 can be written as 1 into 1. That means it has only one distinct factor. One distinct factor it has. But for being qualified as a prime number, it should have two distinct prime factors. And for composite numbers, it should have a minimum of 3 factors. That's why 1 is kept aside, which is neither prime nor composite. So in the first 100 numbers, you have only 74 composite numbers. How to identify a given number as prime number? Of course, below 100 you can identify very easily, because as I told you, you will remember all those 25 prime numbers within no time. So, you can simply identify the prime number if it is less than 100. But what if the given number is greater than 100? How to identify whether it is prime or not? You will be given a set of 4 or 5 numbers, and you will be asked to find which one is prime or which one is not prime. Either way, you will have to understand the concept behind it. For example, if you are given 151, is this prime or not? My dear friends, in order to find whether it is prime or not, you will have to do a small exercise. This 151 is close to 12 square 144. Okay. And now jot down all the prime numbers which are there below 12, less than 12. The prime numbers are 11, 7, 5, 3, 2. Of course, before looking at this, you will also have to check whether the number is even or not. If the number given is even, that is a number ending with 2, 4, 6, 8 or 0, then it's an even number and it can never be a prime number. So, if the given number is odd, then you will have to start this exercise. This 151 is close to 12 square 144. So, below 12 you have these prime numbers. Now you need to very quickly check the divisibility of this number by these prime numbers. 2 cannot divide 151. 3 cannot divide 151 because the digital root is 7. What is digital root? Sum of the digits of a number is called digital root. if the digital root of a given number is 3, 6 or 9, then only the number will be divided by 3. Here the digital root is 7, 1 plus 5 plus 1. So it cannot be divided by 3. If the digital root is 9, then the number can be divided by 9. If the digital root happens to be 3, 6 or 9, then it can be divided by 3. Okay. Now 3 cannot divide 151. Even 5 cannot divide 151 because it's not ending with 0 or 5. 7. 7 2 is 14, 11. So it cannot divide 115. 11. 11 4, 11, 41, 11 3s. No possibility. If you fail to divide the given number with all those prime numbers below that range of the number, then you can confirm that the given number is prime number. The given number is a prime number. If any one of these is able to divide this number, then it cannot be an even number, and you can simply say it's a composite number. Right? Is it clear? My dear friends, what are coprimes? Coprimes are relatively primes or mutually primes. Coprimes are relatively primes or mutually primes. What are these? If a given set of numbers do not have any common factor other than 1, those are called as coprimes. If a given set of numbers do not have any common factor other than 1, then those are called as coprimes. This concept is very important and it's used in so many areas. If you look at the factors of 7, 1 and 7. If you look at 19, the factors of 1 and 19 only. So these two numbers do not have any common factor other than 1. That means these two are coprimes. Let's take another example. 5 and 12. The factors of 5, 1 and 5, factors of 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12. Out of these factors, among these factors, you only have 1 as a common factor for 5 and 12. That means 5 and 12 are coprimes. 24 and 35. 24, the factors are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, 24. 35, the factors are 1, 5, 7, 35. Interestingly, you don't have any common factor other than 1, even for the numbers 24 and 35. What do you understand from these three examples? For being qualified as coprimes, the respective numbers need not always be prime numbers. Of course, a set of prime numbers will always be coprimes. But a prime number and a composite number can also be coprimes. Even both the composite numbers, even if all the given numbers are composite numbers, there is every chance that those are coprimes. Okay, but what you have to see is whether they have any common factor other than 1 or not. Okay. My dear friends, at the start of the session, we saw how prime factorization can be done. As an aspirant for the competitive examinations, you must be in a position to write the prime factorizations without doing like this. If you are given to find prime factorization for 100, 250s, 225s, 5 5s, 5 1s. So 100 is equal to 2 square into 5 square. See, my dear friends, this is quite elementary, and as the aspirants for competitive examinations, you are not supposed to go for prime factorization this way, but to take 2 square into 5 square. What is that you can do? You need to practice writing the prime factorization summary of the numbers straight away by having some calculation in the back of your mind. For example, you are given 64. Straight away write 2 power 6. You know, 2 power 5 is 32, 2 power 6 is 64. Okay. Even if you are given 1024, why don't you write 2 power 10 straight away? Why should you go for this elementary kind of calculations or process? If you are given 1000, just write it as 2 cube into 5 cube. Okay. If you are given 72, 2 cube into 3 square. So you need to practice writing the prime factorization summaries like this without doing this elementary kind of thing. చిన్నపిల్లలు చేసేది మనం చేయకూడదు కదా. If you are given 400, 1625, that is 2 power 4 into 5 square. Okay. Now, if the prime factorization of a number happens to be a power p into b power q into c power r, etc., we have 3 or 4 things to be found. If the prime factorization of a number happens to be a power p into b power q into c power r, etc., where a, b, c are prime numbers and p, q, r can be any integers. A, B, C are exactly prime numbers. Then only it becomes the prime factorization. Now, number of factors of a given number. Number of factors of the given number will be p plus 1 into q plus 1 into r plus 1, etc. After writing the prime factorization, you can find the number of factors of that number with this formula p plus 1 into q plus 1 into r plus 1. What is the number of factors for 64? It's 2 power 6. That means 7 factors. 6 plus 1, 7 factors will be there for 64. Shall we jot down? 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. How many are these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 factors. My dear friends, you please remember, for any given number, this will give you the number of positive factors only. If you want for 64, you can also write minus 1, minus 2, minus 4, minus 8, blah 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 as the negative factors also. Sometimes the test makers want you to find the total number of factors, that means both positive and negative factors. Then you will have to double this number. If you are asked to find only the positive factors, it will be 7. If you ask to find the positive factors as well as the negative factors, it will be 7 plus 7 or 7 into 2, that will be 14. And the formula is this. What is the number of factors for 1000? 1000 is 2 cube into 5 cube. So the number of factors will be 3 plus 1 into 3 plus 1. 16. You can check. You will have exactly 16 factors for 1000. is the total number of factors for 40? 40 is 2 cube into 5 power 1. That means 3 plus 1 into 1 plus 1. That is 8. What are the factors of 40? 1, 2, 4, 5, 8, 10, 20, 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 factors we have for 40. Okay. Now, after finding number of factors, sometimes you may be asked to find number of odd factors, number of even factors. Number of even factors. You will have even factors only when there is a base of 2 in the prime factorization, otherwise no. Okay. So, first of all, in order to find number of even factors, you will have to take the even power, power of 2 and add 1. Is it the way? No. First of all, number of odd factors by using the powers of all the odd prime bases. We have only one odd prime base, that is 5. Its power is 1. So number of odd factors will be 1 plus 1, 2. And number of even factors, you will have to subtract this 2 from the total number of factors 8. 8 minus 2, 6. You can check here. 1 and 5, 2 are odd factors and all other 6 are even factors. So, in order to find even factors, first you need to find odd factors. Odd factors will be the power plus 1 of the odd basis. For example, you have 2 power 1 into 3 power 1 into 5 power 1. What is the number of odd factors? Odd factors will be 1 plus 1 into 1 plus 1. Let's take 2 power 2. 2 power 2 into 3 power 1 into 5 power 1. Number of odd factors will be 1 plus 1 into 1 plus 1, that is 4. What is the total number of factors? 2 plus 1, 3 into 2 into 2, that is 12. So, even will be 12 minus 4, that is 8. This is how you can find odd factors and even factors from the given information. My dear friends, you are also asked to find sum of the factors. For sum of the factors, we have a formula a power p plus 1 minus 1 by a minus 1 into b power q plus 1 minus 1 by b minus 1 into c power r plus 1 minus 1 by c minus 1. That continues depending on the number of prime bases. My dear friends, with this formula, can we try to find the sum of the factors of 40? What is 40? 2 cube into 5 power 1. Let us substitute it in the formula. A power p plus 1 minus 1 by a minus 1. Here we have 2 power 3. So that is 2 power 3 plus 1 minus 1 by 2 minus 1. And 5 power 1 we have. So 5 power 1 plus 1 minus 1 by 5 minus 1. What is the sum of the factors of 40? This is 2 power 4, 16 minus 1, 15. 15 by 1 is 15. This is 5 square, 25 minus 1, 24. 24 by 4 is 6. So 15, 6 is 90. This is sum of the factors of 40. Let us check here. 40, 60, 70, 78, 83, 87, 89, 90 are from the top. 1, 3, 7, 12, 20, 30, 50, 90. So sum of the factors is proved that it is 90. Now this is the formula. Okay, please make note of it. Now it's exactly 12:30. My dear friends, we have many more concepts, especially the units digit concept, the division method, the divisibility rules, and so many other things under number system, even LCM, HCF, all these things will be discussed in the post lunch session. Now we will break for lunch and we will meet at 1:30 sharp. Thank you all. Good day. Vijay garu. సెషన్ కంప్లీట్ అయిందండి. 1 hour బ్రేక్ ఉంది. ఇది ఒక దాన్ని ఏం చేయొచ్చు అంటే పాజ్లో పెట్టుకోవాలనుకుంటా.
మళ్ళీ లాగౌట్ చేసి లాగిన్ చేయడమే కదా సార్.